The most important thing that you need to do to get a woman back is to use any interaction that you have with her as an opportunity to make her feel respect, attraction, and love for you again. That is what counts. When you're triggering her feelings of respect for you, of attraction, and of love once again, that is when she starts to have feelings for you, and the idea of getting back together becomes her idea. So how do you do that? How do you spark her feelings of respect and attraction and get her to reconnect with her old feelings of love for you? Okay, so the 3 examples I'm going to give you are via text, on a phone call, and in person. So via a text message, you can make her laugh and smile rather than feeling annoyed by you or feeling suspicious of you because you're pretending that you just want to be friends. So how do you make her laugh? All right, so if your ex sends you a text message, for example, and she says, "Do you miss me?" How can you make her laugh in that moment? What can you say? Right, what most guys will say in that moment is, "Yes, I miss you, do you miss me too?" Or he might try to lie and pretend and say that he doesn't miss her. Right, but you don't need to do that. You got to remember that you have to use every interaction that you have with her as an opportunity to re-spark her feelings for you. So the way that I recommend you reply is something like this. She asks, "Do you miss me?" "Oh, I'm dying here. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I've lost 20 pounds. No, only kidding, I'm fine. How are you? Missing me yet?" Or if she asks, "Hey, how you doing?" you can reply with, "Really bad. Lost 20 pounds, can't eat, can't sleep. LOL, just kidding. I'm doing well. How are you? Missing me yet?" So can you see how that works there? Essentially what's happening is that you're making her feel attracted to you and happy to be interacting with you. How are you making her feel attracted? You're displaying confidence, you're displaying emotional strength because you're not being an emotional wuss and trying to seek pity from her and things like that. And you have the skills, the social skills to be able to make her laugh in a moment like that. In other words, you're a man who has masculinity and you remain a masculine, confident man even when you're being challenged. You're not the sort of guy who, when he's challenged, he becomes afraid to say anything. Like some guys when they're trying to get their ex back, they're afraid to say anything that their ex-girlfriend might not like. "Oh, what if she doesn't like that? What if she gets angry?" Well, if a guy's thinking like that, she is going to get angry, she is going to get annoyed, she is going to feel turned off by him because women aren't attracted to wimpy, wussy behavior from men. Right? It's just not attractive. One of the main things that women are attracted to about men is emotional strength. So high self-esteem, confidence, and especially confidence when challenged or when in a difficult situation. Right? You remain confident no matter what. On the other hand, women are turned off by the emotional weakness in men. So when a guy is insecure, when he hesitates, when he doubts himself, when he becomes less of a man when he's being challenged by a woman, he sort of cowers and thinks that, okay, I've got to let her take control here. She's got to be the one who's in the dominant position. Women don't want that. It may seem like if you try to take on any position of power, she's going to shut you down and say, "Hey, never talk to me again." But that's just what she's saying at the front, right? What's really going on behind the scenes in a woman's mind is that she wants to be a man's woman. She doesn't want to be a man's boss, a man's dominant woman, a man's leader, right? She doesn't want to be kicking you in the butt and pushing you around, right? She wants you to be able to stand up and be a man no matter what. And it's not about being a man in an arsehole type of way where you're being rude to her, you're being mean to her or anything like that. You simply have the balls to be confident, be funny, be loving, and be flirtatious in moments where other guys would be afraid to say anything. Right? You have the confidence, the balls to actually make something happen between you and her. Right? You're not just hiding back thinking, okay, I can't say anything because, she might get turned off, she might get angry, she might tell me to never contact her again. If a guy's coming from that position, his ex is going to feel turned off by him. So the next example is about when you talk to her on the phone, right? I understand that many guys who are trying to get their ex back, they can't talk to their ex-girlfriend, fiance, or wife on the phone because she's blocked them, right? Or she's no longer answering their calls. So before I go on and give you the example of what to say on the phone, I'll just point out that if you are in that position where your ex is no longer answering your phone calls or text messages and has blocked you, I provide all the techniques on how to get an ex back no matter what the situation is in my program, Get Your Ex Back Super System. It includes how to get her to unblock you from social media, to respond to a text message, to get on a phone call with you, and to meet up with you in person. Okay, so now on to the example of when you do talk to her on the phone, what you can actually say. I was talking to a phone coaching client recently, and while we were talking, he said to me that he used to call up his girlfriend and say, "Hey, girlfriend," and she used to smile and laugh about that. However, now that they'd broken up, she was being cold towards him on the phone, wasn't really laughing or smiling or anything like that, and was just being a bit distant and cold and uninterested. So I said, "Hey, hang on. You used to say, 'Hey, girlfriend.' Now you got a perfect opportunity to make her smile and laugh and to ease the tension between you and her and make things a little bit more lighthearted." So in his case, I recommended that he call her up and say, "Hey, ex-girlfriend, what's going on?" And that is going to get her to smile, maybe laugh, but at least she's going to have a bit of a smile on her face. And what a smile does and a laugh does is that it gets rid of negative tension and makes things a little bit more lighthearted, where you don't actually have to be so serious and deep and meaningful and careful when you talk to your ex-girlfriend for your fiance or wife. Instead, you just be confident, let your natural charisma come through, be the man who guides you and her back into feelings of love. Don't be the scared guy who is afraid to say something because he thinks it might piss her off. He thinks that she might say, "Hey, you can't say that to me," or whatever. You've got to be the stronger one when you're getting a woman back. Okay, so the next example is when you meet up with her in person. A common situation that happens when a guy meets up with his girl in person and he's trying to get her back is that, if he touches her or if he goes to hug her or if he gives her a compliment about her looks or whatever, she'll say something like, "Oh, you can't say that because we're not together anymore. You can't, you shouldn't be sitting this close to me because we're not together anymore." Something along those sorts of lines, where she'll put out some sort of rule where, because they've broken up, they can't laugh and smile together anymore. They can't flirt with each other. He can't touch her. They can't hug, etc. Right, so in a situation like that, what I recommend guys do is to turn it into something that both of you can laugh about so her random rules don't get in the way of you getting back with her. So say, for example, you meet up with your ex in person and she's arriving to meet up with you and you say, "Oh, look at you, you're looking good today, looking very sexy. I like the dress." And she says, "Oh, you can't say that sort of thing. We're broken up. Don't say that sort of stuff to me." You can then turn that into something to laugh about together, but you can also use it as an opportunity to make her feel respect for you because you are the man. And you're not going to crumble under her initial bit of pressure there. You're stronger than that. Right, so say, for example, you've given her that compliment and she says, "You can't be saying those sort of things, we're broken up." What you can say in that moment is, "Oh, really? Okay. Well, hang on. I didn't see the ex's rule book, okay, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, there's no compliments, it's just cold-hearted approach to each other. I've got to be a complete arsehole to you, you got to be a complete bitch to me, right? Okay, I didn't see that rule book. Give me a look at it. Have you got the book here? I want to read it. Let me see these rules on, no niceness to be shown to each other. You can't be giving compliments, especially about looks. It's got to be just cold and distant. Yeah, right, okay. Give me a look at this book." And turn it into a bit of a joke, something to laugh about, but also show her that, hey, you're not going to be pushed around with that sort of crap, right? You're a loving, confident man. And there's nothing wrong with being a loving, confident, masculine man, right? If you do want to get your ex back, and there is a chance for you to get her back, right? Regardless of what she's saying at the front, what she's saying and how she's acting, what she's going to respond to is you being the man and guiding both you and her back into feelings of love. Not you being afraid to say anything or do anything because it might come across the wrong way, or she might say something negative towards you, or it might be uncomfortable. Right? You've got to be stronger than that. When it comes to getting a woman back, a man needs to be stronger than the woman. Right? It's not about being stronger in an arsehole type of way where you're saying, "Hey, I can do whatever I want," sort of thing. It's about being strong in a loving way. You're being a confident, loving, masculine man, and that is something that all women respond positively to. Your ex might put on an act that she's not responding positively to anything that you're doing, but if you just show her a little bit of that loving masculinity where you're just fearless with it, she is going to drop her guard. She's naturally going to start to feel respect and attraction for you. And when you make your ex feel a lot of respect and attraction for you, she naturally starts to reconnect with the love that she used to have for you. Loving feelings come back. It feels good to be around you. That's what really counts when getting a woman back. So to finish up here, I want to point out something very important for you, right? What you really need to understand when you're trying to get your ex back is that every time you interact with her, it has to be a positive, right? You've got to be making her feel some level of respect and attraction for you. And when that happens, she starts to reconnect with the love that she has for you. Right? She may say that she doesn't love you anymore, but that's not how love works. Love doesn't actually die. Right? What happens with love is it just gets pushed into the background, but love can be reconnected with. But you can't just go straight for love. It's got to be respect and attraction, and then she will start to reconnect with the love. So what you need to do is make sure that every time you interact with her from now on, you use it as an opportunity to make her feel some level of respect and attraction for you, and she'll naturally start to reconnect with the love. If you continue on from this day forward and you're saying and doing things that make her lose respect for you, not feel attracted to you, and feel turned off by you, then she's not going to be wanting to get back with you. She's going to be feeling turned off, and that love is just going to be pushed into the background even further, and she won't want anything to do with it because she's not attracted and drawn to you as a person at that point. If you want to get your ex back, I recommend that you don't waste any more time ignoring her or waste any more energy trying to convince her to take you back. The way to get an ex back is to use any interaction that you have with her as an opportunity to make her feel some level of respect, attraction, and love for you again. When you start to approach her in that way, you will see that she drops her guard, becomes open to interacting with you, and starts to have feelings for you again. If you enjoyed this video and learned something interesting from it, I'd really appreciate it if you could click like on the video to show your support, and I'll see you in the next video.